that the first you heard of it?
Terence Crawford, great fighter. I like very huge respect to him, and I think so. He's the best pound for pound fighter. But if he will move up, like he can beat Canelo.
You think so?
Yeah. But I don't know how he will be comfortable, you know.
Once again, Terence Crawford finds himself in the middle of heated debate as talk of a potential clash with Canelo Alvarez grows stronger. With every passing day, more boxing analysts and former champions are voicing their concerns, warning Crawford that this may be one risk too many. They argue that stepping up to challenge Canelo is not only unnecessary, but could also put him at a severe disadvantage because of the jump in weight. Despite these warnings, the final call rests solely with Crawford. As the
view to watch it.
Is the skill level of Crawford equalize the weight, in your opinion?
I think if they fought, they'd obviously be the same weight, would they not?
Yes.
So,
even Tyson Fury, a man who knows a thing or two about size and weight differences in boxing, has given his opinion on the possible Crawford-Canelo matchup. Fury recently suffered a loss to an opponent nearly 50 pounds lighter than him, yet he emphasized just how critical weight divisions can be. Speaking to TNT Sports Boxing, the former two-time heavyweight champion admitted that Crawford might have had a chance if this fight had been made years ago in a lighter weight class. But now, if the bout is staged at 168 pounds, Fury strongly believes that Canelo holds the upper hand. Terence Crawford vs. Alvarez is an extremely tough fight, Fury explained. We're talking about two very different weight categories.
Crawford going from 47 to 68.
maybe he would bring Canelo down to 60 or 54 or something, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a favorite?
Canelo Alvarez has been firm in his stance. He has no intention of cutting weight for this matchup. This plays directly into Crawford's desire to test himself by moving up, targeting the super middleweight limit of 168 pounds. For Crawford, this is 14 pounds heavier than his most recent bout. The idea has created a storm of discussion in boxing circles, with some calling it the ultimate test of skill against size.
Who knows? That smile's telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no? I'm just saying, man. We can't say it's not gonna happen. We can't say that.
Mike Tyson didn't hold back when asked about the matchup on the Come and Talk to Me podcast on September 20th. I don't like that fight, Tyson admitted. It's just too much weight for Crawford. He already had a tough fight with Israil Madrimov, who was awkward and naturally bigger. That was a fight Crawford shouldn't even have taken, let alone thinking about Canelo. His words highlight a real concern: Crawford's struggle against Madrimov, who entered their bout undefeated.
What do you think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo?
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight, you know. And
Speaking to Yahoo Sports before his bout with Madrimov, Crawford explained his philosophy: the key is knowing when to move up in a healthy way. I didn't move up for the sake of it, I moved up because I wanted the best guy in the division. This mindset underlines his ambition. He's not chasing easy paydays or soft opposition. His sights are locked on legacy-defining opportunities, and Canelo Alvarez is at the very top of that list.
he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. He should have fought a guy that would just come straight at him. The guy was too awkward.
He's herky-jerky.
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime trainer and strategist, revealed that talks are underway for the fight to potentially happen during one of Canelo's favorite timeframes, either Cinco de Mayo weekend in May or Mexican Independence Day in September.
54 pounds. When you look at that fight, what is in your mind if you think about the concept of him fighting Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds?
Get the legs in some shape, man, because you're going to have to move.
McIntyre further added that active negotiations are being carried out, with promoters and key figures like Turki Alaki working hard to finalize the deal. The aim is not just to deliver fans one of the biggest matchups in modern boxing, but also to secure massive financial rewards for both fighters. Having already guided Crawford to world championships in 4 different divisions, McIntyre believes this could be their greatest challenge yet, but also their greatest triumph.
Legs in some shape. Make sure legs are in good shape because you have to side movement.
Is that a fight you would recommend for him?
Fresh off his victory against Israil Madrimov at 154 pounds, Crawford now eyes the Mexican superstar. While his resume already speaks volumes, defeating Canelo would instantly become his crowning achievement. But it won't be easy. Canelo Alvarez, the reigning super middleweight champion, has only ever been bested by two men, the legendary Floyd Mayweather and the technically brilliant Dimitri Bivol. Knowing this, McIntyre has already begun studying those fights, especially Bivol's victory, noting that it forced Canelo to move constantly and took away his comfort zone.
It's real simple. You just gotta know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Okay, Terence gonna get in there and do what he needs to do. Perform.
He also pointed to Mayweather's masterclass against Canelo as another source of inspiration. Meanwhile, media outlets such as World Boxing News suggest Crawford is now firmly on Canelo's shortlist, keeping the buzz alive. Crawford himself has shown extraordinary determination, even agreeing to move up 2 weight classes. He openly admits that size will play a major role, but he remains confident that his superior skills can tilt the balance in his favor. Skeptics, however, point to Crawford's most recent performance against Madrimov, where he didn't look as dominant as usual. That raises the question, can Crawford truly handle the elite level at super middleweight?
For boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. It's real simple. Real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say it.
Despite the widespread skepticism, there's no denying that a potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has captured the imagination of boxing fans all over the world. This fight would combine speed, power, tactical intelligence, and the charisma of two of boxing's most celebrated champions. Canelo Alvarez has made it a tradition to fight twice each year, once in May, around the Cinco de Mayo festivities, and once in September, in celebration of Mexico's Independence Day. Since 2022, this schedule has been consistent, and it's expected he will continue the same pattern. This gives May and September of 2025 as the most likely windows for a fight with Crawford. Interesting.
Are we still waiting for that second fight to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. They still gotta work things out and see where they go from there.
I know since recently they put around up as an opponent. What do you think about Crawford do?
However, not everyone is convinced that this is purely a sporting contest. Some analysts argue that the hype surrounding a Crawford-Canelo fight is more media-driven than it is logical from a boxing standpoint. Crawford currently competes at 154 pounds, 2 full divisions below Canelo's super middleweight stronghold. Even so, Crawford and his team, including his trainer Turki Alec, are aggressively campaigning to make this fight happen. Reports suggest that they are demanding a purse in the region of $150 million, which would make it one of the most lucrative bouts in boxing history. But Canelo may still have other options. Many believe he is carefully avoiding Benavidez at 175 pounds. Another name that briefly entered the conversation was William School, a 23-0 IBF challenger. However, his hopes were crushed when the IBF stripped Canelo of his undisputed title status due to his refusal to fight the Cuban. Instead, attention has shifted to fresher names within the division. Rising stars such as Diego Pacheco, who sports an impressive 22-0 record with 18 knockouts, are now seen as potential contenders. At only 23 years old, Pacheco is already a mandatory challenger for both the WBC and WBO belts, although he is scheduled to face Steven Nelson, 20-0, in Las Vegas on January 25. Another candidate is Osli Ias, a Cuban fighter who has quietly built a perfect record of 13-0, including 12 knockouts.
Been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller Amir Khan.
Yeah, he did at 155.
While fans eagerly wait for official confirmation, Canelo's list of realistic opponents seems shorter than ever. A rematch with Jamie Munguia might have been an option, but Munguia's recent loss to Bruno Suarez has made that possibility much less appealing. Right now, the most tangible and marketable fight appears to be Canelo versus Crawford, even though it still lacks official confirmation. Rumors have spread like wildfire, and the buzz surrounding this possible clash has taken over boxing forums, social media platforms, and major sports networks. Within hours of speculation surfacing, media outlets like Boxing Insider and ES News founder Elie Seck began suggesting that this event could potentially become the biggest fight Las Vegas has ever hosted. While these claims remain speculative, the excitement among fans is undeniable.
I don't know if Canelo can. That's a big boy, man. I don't care. The skills is, you gotta really have the right.
According to AI-generated predictions, the fight is most likely to take place in late 2025, with September being the most probable month. This aligns perfectly with Canelo's traditional September fight schedule around Mexican Independence Day. The venue most frequently mentioned is Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, which has become the go-to arena for monumental combat sports events. The fight is expected to be contested at the 168-pound super middleweight limit, where Canelo holds all the cards. For Crawford, this would mean moving up from light middleweight, giving him the chance to chase history as a potential undisputed champion in a third weight class. Promoters are expected to market this as the ultimate pound-for-pound clash: Crawford, the former king at 147 pounds, versus Canelo, the dominant ruler of 168. Both legacies would be on the line in what could easily be billed as a once-in-a-generation event.
Movement, IQ, sharpness to beat David, unless David just fights the next biggest man in the 75, it's going to be
The AI broke down its fight prediction in stages. According to its analysis, the early rounds, 1 to 4, would likely belong to Terence "Bud" Crawford. Known for starting cautiously, he would spend the first few rounds studying Canelo's timing, footwork, and punch selection. During this period, Canelo would push forward, applying body pressure and trying to land his trademark hooks, but Crawford's superior footwork and quick reflexes would keep him competitive. By rounds 5 to 8, the AI suggested that Crawford would begin to fully adapt, using his counter-punching mastery to frustrate Canelo. Alvarez, meanwhile, would continue targeting the body in hopes of slowing Crawford down. This middle stretch would see both fighters landing heavy shots in tactical exchanges, setting the stage for a dramatic finish. In the championship rounds, 9 to 12, the fight would become highly strategic. Crawford's adaptability and precision would allow him to score with cleaner combinations, while Canelo's sheer power and relentless pressure would keep him dangerous.
At 168, that's how you have to be to beat him. Canelo's smaller than me, and I was able to push David around a few rounds, do what I had to do, whatever. But that weight and his length, and he knows how to throw punches and bunches.
The AI analysis went even further, asserting that Crawford's adaptability and ring intelligence could ultimately allow him to neutralize Canelo's natural advantages in size and power. While acknowledging that the fight would be razor-close and fiercely competitive, the model predicted that Crawford's technical mastery and ability to switch styles mid-fight might give him just enough of an edge. Perhaps the boldest part of the prediction was what came after. Should Crawford win, he would not only make history by capturing titles at 168 pounds but might also consider defending them against rising contenders or even retiring undefeated, cementing his status as one of the greatest fighters in history. For Canelo, even in defeat, his legacy as one of the finest super middleweights would remain intact.
In your view, Terence Crawford beats Canelo.
He cooks Canelo.
Woo!
Really? He beats him. Yes.
Look, if you go back, you watch the fight.
Adding another voice to the conversation, former champion Tim Bradley weighed in with his perspective. Bradley has been urging Canelo Alvarez to give Crawford the opportunity he's been chasing. At 37, Crawford has made it clear that this is the fight he wants, but many critics argue that he hasn't done enough at 168 or 175 to truly earn it. Bradley's argument, however, was less about Crawford's resume and more about opportunity. He suggested that for Canelo, this fight might not add much to his own legacy, but for Crawford, it would be the ultimate chance to cap off his career with what Bradley called a golden parachute.
You can see the same tendencies that Canelo has now, but he's a lot older now. But I just think that Terence has more skills than Lara, and I think he can do more.
But Bradley didn't stop there. He recently criticized Crawford's most recent performance against Israil Madrimov on August 3rd. Despite winning, Crawford looked sluggish at times, particularly when dealing with Madrimov's powerful right hands. For Bradley, this was proof that Crawford may have reached the ceiling of how far his body can carry him through different divisions. Why would Canelo even want to fight Crawford after that performance? Bradley asked on his YouTube channel. Canelo already passed on Benavidez, he doesn't care about what people say. So why not just give Crawford the fight? It's what the fans want, and it gives Crawford one final chance to show his greatness. His comments struck a nerve in the boxing community.
Canelo is a super strong guy. Man, technique. You already know. If you ever wrestled before, the person that got better technique usually win. It don't matter how much the weight they have or what they're carrying around. It's the technique. Crawford knows how to take care of himself on the inside.
Bradley continued to stir the pot by addressing one of the most popular talking points, the idea that Canelo's size and power would simply overwhelm Crawford. Everybody keeps saying Canelo's going to knock him out, Bradley scoffed. But when was the last time Canelo actually knocked someone out? People need to stop with that narrative. He also pointed out that both fighters stand at 5 feet 8 inches, with Canelo himself beginning his career at 147 pounds, the same division where Crawford first became a star. Canelo is not a natural 168-pounder, Bradley reminded fans. Yes, he's bigger, stronger, more physically developed now, but let's not pretend like he's been that size forever.
He knows how to smother, he knows how to tie up, he knows how to rough guys up, he knows how to turn guys. He understands weight distribution, man. You know, not only that, the only way that I see Canelo beating Crawford is he got to knock him out.
As if the debate wasn't heated enough, a new controversy emerged when boxing coach Stephen Edwards revealed he had been receiving racist and hateful abuse simply because he predicted Crawford would beat Canelo if the two fought. Canelo Alvarez, now 34, is widely seen as the biggest active name in the sport, an icon who has won world titles across 4 divisions and fought in 5. His reputation for relentless pressure, slick counterpunching, and an iron chin makes him the betting favorite against almost anyone. On the other side, Terence "Bud" Crawford, age 37, is also a 4-division champion and the reigning unified champion at light middleweight.
Canelo is a great fighter, but my eyes tell me he's slowing down a bit. The Canelo that fought Berlanga 3 years ago, Canelo knocks Berlanga out, bro. That's not.
Edwards praised Crawford's adaptability and tactical genius, pointing out how his ability to switch stances mid-fight makes him one of the hardest fighters to prepare for. With a record of 41 wins and 31 knockouts, Crawford has proven he can dismantle almost any style. That, Edwards believes, makes the fight far more competitive than most are giving him credit for. Yet, in standing by Crawford, Edwards revealed he had been bombarded with abusive messages. "I get more racist and hateful emails than you could imagine," he told Boxing Scene. "All because I said Crawford could beat Canelo."
It's a public execution. The fact that he let Berlanga go the distance, he let Munguia go the distance, he let Charlo go the distance. I'm not saying they was fighting back. They didn't want to be stopped, but you know.
He went further, saying, "I literally have stalkers who bait me into responding so they can see their names on the internet. These are people who claim to hate me but read my mailbag every week. It's the strangest obsession." Edwards then flipped the narrative back onto Canelo's fans. "If they're so confident, why not just tell Canelo to take the fight and prove me wrong? That's all it takes." Canelo's fans didn't lose their minds when I picked him to lose against Bivol. "I was completely wrong about that, but I didn't get a single hateful message from Russians. Yet when I pick Crawford, suddenly it's a storm of hate mail."
Where once he put him in their place and he knew he could beat him, he just didn't turn the after gear on. And Bud's movement, his feet, his conditioning, his physical strength, he's a lot.
Despite the abuse, Edwards refused to back down. He doubled down on his pick. "Canelo has great IQ, great vision, and I've heard stories about him beating up heavyweights in the gym. But he's also struggled against fighters like Mayweather, Trout, and Lara, guys with styles similar to Crawford's. So yes, I'm picking Crawford by close decision. And no one is talking me out of that." His defiance added yet another layer of fire to the already explosive anticipation.
Then people realize I'm not saying he's stronger than Canelo, but he's strong enough. It's not a weightlifting contest.
Looking ahead, if Canelo vs. Crawford does happen, the most likely dates are Saturday, May 3rd or May 10th, aligning with the traditional Cinco de Mayo weekend. However, insiders suggest that Canelo might delay the fight until after the highly anticipated February 22 clash between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, as the outcome of that bout could shape his next move. For now, nothing is set in stone, but the anticipation is sky-high. Boxing outlets describe it as a once-in-a-generation clash, fans are debating fiercely online, and promoters are circling with massive financial offers. As the speculation grows, one thing is clear: whether or not this fight gets signed, the very idea of Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford has already become one of the most talked about storylines in boxing.